Most people think weight loss is half diet and half exercise, but together, those only make up about 25%. Another 25% is quality sleep, and the remaining 500% is simply following through with what you said you'd do. Fortunately, if you start a diet now, there's a way, an easy way, to make success almost guaranteed. Step 1. Get inspired. There's always that initial spark, maybe from seeing someone fitter than you or noticing yourself in a photo. Inspiration is powerful, but temporary. It fades quickly. So next, you need a specific, measurable goal with a deadline. Something like, lose 5 pounds by July 1st and another 5 by August 1st. That gives you a clear target and built-in checkpoints to stay motivated. Next, you need a detailed, realistic plan to achieve that goal. For example, replace your usual breakfast, milk, sugary granola, and a PB&J, with a 1-mile jog, followed by 15 strawberries and 3 boiled eggs. Believe it or not, this one change alone can help you lose several pounds in just a few weeks. But having a plan isn't enough. You have to prepare everything ahead of time to make following it easy. Buy the strawberries, boil the eggs the night before, lay out your running clothes so in the morning, sticking to the plan becomes the path of least resistance. If you skip boiling the eggs and keep stocking up on peanut butter and grape jelly, placing them front and center in the fridge, then you're probably not serious about sticking to the diet. You're just waiting for the day you give in and go back to your high-calorie breakfast. To make eating healthy easier, make eating junk food harder. Sure, that's easy to say, but no matter how hard you try to resist junk food, there will be tough moments. Like when you accidentally fall into a booth at IHOP and realize every item on the menu is over 1,000 calories. Then comes the temptation to say the 5 most dangerous words in dieting. You can pick from any of the following options. A. 1 cheat meal won't hurt. B. I'll actually start dieting tomorrow. C. I just won't eat later. D. Maybe I'll just start bulking. These are the moments when you need willpower, the ability to tell yourself no. You can train your willpower by planning for all the excuses you'll make and practicing saying no to each of them. Practice walking away from bad choices. But remember, willpower isn't endless, so don't rely on it. Just remove the temptation entirely when you can. The real cheat code for motivation is doing something consistently until it becomes a habit. If you can wake up and automatically go for a jog, and you naturally reach for healthier options like strawberries and boiled eggs, sticking to the plan becomes much easier. It becomes simpler to follow and continues to get easier with daily practice. Eventually, you might even start enjoying eating healthy and exercising. For many people, it stops being just a lifestyle choice and becomes a core part of who they are. That's the ultimate goal, making it a part of your identity. Now let's go over the fundamentals of fat loss. There's no perfectly accurate way to track fat loss except through progress photos and by weighing yourself once a week. Just keep in mind that during the first few weeks, and sometimes even months, you might not notice major changes because your body tends to lose fat from places you can't see first. Once you begin noticing visual changes, progress feels faster and more encouraging. For more precise tracking, you can weigh yourself daily. But keep in mind that weight can vary a lot due to water retention or the kinds of foods you eat. You may be losing fat without seeing a drop on the scale right away. So, instead of focusing on daily changes, monitor your week-to-week average. You've probably heard that losing fat means consuming fewer calories than your body burns. If your body burns 2,000 calories a day, eating 1,700 calories a day helps you lose fat, as your body will pull from stored fat for energy. It may also burn a very small amount of muscle to make up the rest. If you reduce your intake to 1,500 or even 1,200 calories a day, fat loss will happen faster, but it will be harder to stick with long-term. A commonly recommended method for figuring out how much to eat is by using an online calorie calculator. Let's be honest, most of us are sedentary. Once you have your estimate, use it as a baseline to begin your weight loss. Just remember, this number might not be perfectly accurate since everyone's metabolism is different. That's especially true for people with hormonal issues. High cortisol, low estrogen or testosterone, or low thyroid hormones can all affect metabolism. So, the most reliable approach is to start with the calculator's number and track how your weight changes over the following weeks. If your weight isn't changing, reduce your daily intake by 200 to 300 calories. If you hit a plateau and don't lose any weight for a week, You may need to cut more calories or increase your activity level. This method works really well for some people, but the catch is you need to know exactly how many calories you consume each day. That includes reading labels, using calorie tracking apps, doing mental math, or using food scales. These help measure your food intake in grams accurately. If you're American, you might not be used to the metric system, but you can rely on calorie information from places like McDonald's. You could also just estimate your calories, but that only works well if you overestimate to stay on the safe side. If you estimate something to be 300 calories, it's likely closer to 500. If you think it's 800 calories, it's probably actually around 1,000. And if it seems too small to matter, it's likely still at least 50 calories. Before diving into a method that doesn't require tracking anything, let's discuss macronutrients. Regardless of whether you track them, many people are curious about how much protein, carbs, and fat they should be consuming each day. To be honest, when it comes to weight loss, what really matters most is your intake of calories and protein. You need a specific amount of protein and a specific amount of fats, and then you can fill the rest of your calorie intake with whatever you like. Just be mindful not to overdo fats from things like oil, sauces, dressings, butter, and nuts and cheese. Even healthy fats can add up fast. Since they have 9 calories per gram, something like a pack of trail mix can easily have 3 times the calories of a dying neutron star. Also, when experts say carbs lead to weight gain, they're not referring to fruits, veggies, fiber, or whole grains. They're talking about refined, heavily processed carbs that taste great, but are stripped of nearly all their nutrients during processing, especially those with lots of added sugars. Here are a few examples. Notice this, subtitle reader. You'll realize this describes almost the entire grocery store. The issue is that these foods are incredibly tasty in an unnatural way and easy to overconsume. They're calorie-dense and can actually leave you feeling hungrier. Still, you can eat them daily and lose weight if you maintain a calorie deficit. That's why some people brag about eating a full box of Reese's Puffs daily while still losing weight. What they don't mention is the emptiness in their stomachs for 23 hours a day. Their labs looking tragic, cue the crying emoji, and the fact that using milk would take them over their calorie limit, so they use water. Which brings us to how you can lose fat without tracking calories. The number one trick? Gradually shift toward less processed food, cut out junk, chips, sugary treats, and refined carbs. Replace them with fruits, vegetables, lean dairy, lean proteins, healthy fats, and whole grains. These foods are so nutritious and satisfying that you'll maintain a calorie deficit daily without feeling very hungry. Still not convinced? 200 calories of Oreos versus 200 calories of strawberries. Another tip: cut out snacking. Just eat during meals. If you do snack, go for fruits, veggies, or low-calorie options like those. But most people reach for high-calorie junk because they're bored, stressed, or thirsty, not truly hungry. Cutting out snacks is among the easiest things to do since your body doesn't really need them. Over time, you'll stop craving them. Eventually, you'll feel like you're ahead of the curve, feeling better than everyone else, which can help keep you going to finish your diet. When things get tough, here are some extra tips. Tip 1. Drink plenty of water. It's very filling, and often when you think you're hungry, you're just thirsty. Keep a large water bottle with you so you don't forget. It'll also help prevent cravings for high-calorie drinks. Avoid sugary drinks like soda, juice, bubble tea, and milkshakes. Tip 2. Stop delaying by saying, "The real diet starts tomorrow." Start now. Tip 3. Cut out liquid calories. It's easier to consume lots of calories from sugary drinks than from food. Tip 4. Use low-calorie swaps like low-fat shredded cheese, keto bread, cauliflower rice, and egg whites. Even peanut butter powder is a good low-calorie alternative. Tip 5. Make healthy meals tasty with zero-calorie condiments, sauces, and seasonings. Just don't overdo them. Avoid going overboard with these because generally, the tastier your food, the more cravings you might have for it. Tip 6. Drink zero-calorie diet sodas if you have sweet cravings. Tip 7. Eat high-volume, high-fiber foods that fill you up with fewer calories. Tip 8. Eat 3 to 5 small meals per day to avoid long stretches of hunger. This fits easily into most lifestyles. A single big meal per day could work too. but most people struggle to maintain that and quit early. Tip 9. Eat your biggest meals when you're hungriest. Tip 10. Intermittent fasting helps many people maintain a calorie deficit. It involves eating within a 4 to 8 hour window and fasting for the rest of the day. This might sound tough, but once you're not eating all day, hunger doesn't stay constant. Hunger comes in waves. Wait a bit, and it'll pass. Tip 11. Increase protein intake. It keeps you full, and your body burns about 20 calories just to digest 100 calories of protein. Tip 12. Protein powder is helpful, but it's still processed and not as filling as whole food protein sources. If you do use it to meet your protein needs, mix it with water. Tip 13. Try black coffee or tea. Caffeine can boost metabolism and slightly suppress appetite. Tip 14. Use smaller plates, bowls, and portion sizes to feel full faster. Tip 15. If you slip up, don't use it as an excuse to binge on junk food. A mistake wasn't part of the plan, but quitting never was either. Now about exercise. It burns calories, boosts your health. And once you realize how much effort it takes to burn just 200 calories, you'll probably think twice before eating a 200-calorie snack. Here are a few workout tips. Tip 1. Lift weights. It raises your metabolism, burns calories, and builds muscle. Use online resources to find exercise ideas and get started. Tip 2. Walk more often. Hitting 10,000 steps a day is almost like a cheat code for burning extra calories and losing fat. Tip 3. Do more cardio. While diet is more crucial for fat loss, cardio definitely helps. If regular cardio feels boring, try high-intensity interval training. Or try circuit-style workouts, which you can easily find on YouTube. Some people claim short YouTube workouts don't work. But remember, those same people often just watch others work out for an hour instead of doing it themselves. Tip 4. Be less sedentary. It's rarely talked about because it's hard to define. But simply getting up, moving around, and staying active throughout the day burns far more calories than you'd expect. This includes everyday tasks you might not see as exercise, like taking the stairs, cleaning, or pressure washing your driveway. Cooking, standing, walking, fidgeting, or carrying groceries all count too. Even going outside and touching grass helps. Basically anything other than sitting or lying in bed. Finally, one fat loss tip that people tend to overlook. Get enough sleep. Good quality sleep regulates your hormones, which are crucial when it comes to fat loss. These hormones basically control everything related to weight management. You might be thinking, I already get good sleep, but it's still worth emphasizing how essential it is. And with that said, please consider donating or subscribing to support the next video.